Here's the bottom line. You want to dress like that one day? You got to go to school. Jokes aside, it's time for the tire to hit the rubber. Tomorrow, yes, we are back to school. This might strike fear into the hearts of many, but it's such an exciting time. The year end begins. Are you ready for the next phase? The question applies to parents, to educational psychologists, to kids as well. So we thought we'd bring one of our own in, educational psychologist and good friend of the show, Dr. Sharon Aitken, joins us to help get us prepared if we aren't already. But hopefully we are almost there. We just need the few little touches. Doc, great to have you here. Happy New Year.
Thank you, and to you.
It's still early enough, I think, to say that. An exciting time and a lot of anxiety attached to this. And I know this from a parent's perspective. One of mine is about to start their schooling journey. They're going to grade R at a wonderful new school, but it is terrifying for us. I think he is just so excited to see his friends and kind of connect in new social circles. But we have been desperately trying to settle on a system that works so we can simplify. So how do we go about doing that? What is a good home system look like? I'm guessing it's not one size fits all, but how do we start?
No. So I think for me, it's really important to emphasize that parents are really crucial to the well-being of their kids at school, and they're helping them to achieve their full potential. And it is a parent's responsibility to make sure that their child is well managed from grade R all the way up to university. Now, parents are going to be going like, are you mad? University, they should be self-sufficient by then. But I want to put it to you this way. I do not know of a single working adult who is not supervised.
Well, just think of yourself if you went to varsity. Think of yourself in varsity.
Exactly.
Let's just do that exercise.
So parents need to, there's two things that I think are the most important and I need to share today. Parents need to organize their kids at home. They need to make sure that they're organized, and they need to supervise homework on a daily basis. They need to make sure that it is done. Yeah. So with the organization, so as you said, by now you actually need to have made sure your kid is prepared for the year. You've got to have had that stationery and everything sorted. If you've left it till the last minute, you're sending a message to your child that it's actually okay to leave everything till the last minute when it comes to school. So those are like really...
The system is a learning opportunity in itself.
Exactly. Okay. So you're building resilience, you're building skills, you're building strategies. Okay. Exactly, So make sure you, as a parent, you're ready ahead of time. And then when it comes to systems, you want to make sure that you've helped the child plan for a daily basis. Obviously, in grade R, you're going to do most of that. But by the time they're in foundation phase and then on the higher sort of grades, you're going to have lists on the wall that the child knows that they have to pack to get ready for the next day, and then you're going to supervise that that's actually done. Now, some of the schools, the teachers are going to say to you, you can back off. They must be able to do it themselves. But in actual fact, many of the children can't.
They need to be taught or guided through that process.
They have to be taught, guided, and supervised. So that organizational side of things is really important, and part of that is communication with the school. So if you're wanting to simplify, as you said earlier, and really know what is important, you have to attend your parent-teacher meetings. You need to be in contact with your school. Many schools have parents who coordinate for the classroom.
And there's WhatsApp groups.
And there's WhatsApp groups, and you need to be on those things and just make sure that, because it is your responsibility.
Why is it so important? Because the real take-home for me here is it's not 2 lanes. You don't hand them over to the school or hand them over. And yes, it's great to have a little bit of extra time while they're actually away, but you're on the same team.
Yes.
And ultimately, if you kind of keep dropping that ball or just leaving it to the grand design, when it comes time for you to be answerable, you're not going to have all of the facts and you're not going to be able to support your child.
And one of the areas that parents miss the ball totally is on homework. So I see parents are amazing with homework from grade 1 until grade 3 because the teachers are very precise about what needs to be done. From grade 4 onwards, and particularly in high school and at varsity, parents are like, you're old enough. They're not old enough.
Gotcha. No.
They're not old enough. So parents need to be making sure that they have the right environment to do their homework in, that they know what time of day. So we don't want a grade 1 doing homework at 7 o'clock at night, and an adolescent working at 10 o'clock at night because they're not getting a good night's sleep. So environment is really important. Parents need to check the homework is being done. If you don't check it, does everybody remember adolescence?
Well, that's the thing I was going to say. You just made me terrified because I think my maths level's at about the same level as my grade R son. But I love the fact that we're a team and we're in it together.
Yes.
And that being said, I think within a family, it's great to establish who's the doer, who's the teacher, get those roles down. For instance, my wife is amazing at teaching. You see what my son can do with his name now and simple little things like that. She's nailed. There is a role for everybody, but you're all in the same team, so stay on it. I've got a couple of critical questions to ask, especially about timing and those really critical years. We'll get into that on the other side.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Hopefully you're filled with excitement and just a little bit of nerves because it kind of keeps you real and keeps you honest. We are continuing our discussion on getting prepped for the new academic year and getting some tips on how not to fall behind from our good friend and educational psychologist, Dr. Sharon Aitken. So let's jump straight into it. Some really interesting factors come to bear in this space. And I know we could sit and talk for hours about this, and I would recommend someone connects directly with you if they've got a more nuanced problem to deal with. But I mentioned earlier, as you were talking about certain gateways that are vital, it kind of struck me that and from all of the experts that we've spoken to, there are a few years that carry a bit more weight.
Yes.
Grade 1, obviously, 4, 8, 12, and then first year stands to reason.
Yeah.
Why are these gateways so important?
So just briefly, grade 1 is the start of their formal year, of their formal schooling. So the expectation is that they're going to be able to sit at the desk for a much longer period than would have happened in grade R. So parents need to monitor that. And they are starting to learn to read, which will be a vital, and write. That's going to be a vital skill that they're going to need in the later grades. So that is a really, parents need to monitor grade 1. They need to be very closely connected with their teacher. That's when some of the first learning barriers also are identified, such as dyslexia. So we can identify that as early as grade 1 and start intervention. So grade 1, yeah, the start of formal schooling, it's quite a lot more pressurized. Grade 4 is a problem because what's happening is they are swapping subjects. Now they've gone from learning to read to reading to learn. So if your child in grade 3 wasn't really doing so well with the reading,
the information.
yes, now in grade 4 we've got a problem. Plus, with multiple subjects, the children become very stressed at how to manage and learn those subjects. And some schools start exams in grade 4, which adds to a great deal of pressure for a grade 4 learner. So you've got to watch that. Then in grade 8, they move from a more contained environment where they have often a lot more interaction with their teachers to a totally new environment where they don't have a relationship as much with those teachers.
Possibly bigger classes.
And we have adolescence. And adolescents, early adolescence, social-emotional development, they are not interested in school, they're interested in their peers and having fun. So if you are not on the ball as a parent, you're in big trouble because the next thing they're not doing so well in math or they're not doing so well in Afrikaans because they haven't done their homework for 2 years by the end of grade 9.
And not every kid can get that hockey or rugby bursary. So
no. And even with those nowadays, you still need
got to deliver.
Marks. Yeah, you've got to have marks. Grade 12, I'm seeing it's become increasingly pressurized. So we've got to watch the levels of anxiety because
mental health game.
There's a huge burnout. And then when we get to first year tertiary, the failure rate is insane because the change of environment, the lectures are even more distant now. They're not really interested. They don't monitor the students.
First year, really.
First year varsity, I think the statistic now, and has been for many years, is a 66% failure rate. And that is simply because they don't attend lectures and things. Now, so if parents have their finger on the pulse and they're making sure they're attending lectures and they're doing the work that needs to be done, then it's not so dangerous. But if you don't,
money.
It's not a year you want your kids to fail.
I would add to that, and thank you so much. As someone whose child is starting that journey tomorrow, I feel a lot more at peace. But I would also suggest, in my experience, working with kids trying to bridge that gap from school to their calling in life. It's the why of it. And often why they drop it is because the why isn't aligned with the degree. So maybe you can start that conversation with your little one before they go into grey R and talk to them every day to find out where they're at. So hopefully that wasn't too much to digest. Most importantly, enjoy it. Cry a little bit as they head off to school if it's a first day, but just enjoy them embarking on this incredible academic journey that's going to potentialize them. It's going to be the first step towards their beautiful future. Now, though, let's have a little bit of fun.